Good evening, everyone. Am I audible to you all?
Good evening, ma'am. Yes, you are.
Good evening, Chanchla ma'am. Are you there?
Yes, ma'am. Good evening. I'm here.
Okay, so ma'am, shall we start?
Yes, definitely, ma'am.
Okay. So don't let what you cannot do interfere with what you can do. A very pleasant good evening with cool breeze and rain shower to all the participants, RFI members, and dignitaries. Myself, Nikita Khandelwal, here I heartily welcome you all on behalf of RFI with lots of positive vibes. It's day 5th and it's 8th of August of our training and faculty development program on advanced tools and techniques for research methodology, which is organized by Research Foundation of India. And today's topic is application of SPSS for quantitative data analysis. And for that, Dr. Chancellor Jan ma'am is again here with us with her valuable knowledge. Ma'am has an inexhaustible store of knowledge related to the subject that she doesn't need any introduction. Ma'am, I heartily welcome you on behalf of our whole Research Foundation of India's team. Ma'am, please hold your foot pace. Now the platform is yours.
Thank you so much, Nikta, ma'am, for the warm welcome. Uh, okay. So, very good evening to all the participants. Now I can hear everyone. Probably I was able to hear the Nikita, ma'am. So I think now I can hear every one of you, and I think today we can interact, and it would be a two-way communication. Okay. So, very good evening, everyone. Today, as the ma'am said, and Nikita ma'am just said that we are going to discuss the SPSS. So today, firstly, I'll talk about the some of the things about SPSS, and then we will move to the SPSS. I hope many of you have seen the windows of SPSS and how SPSS works. We will see that, right? So, firstly, give me a second. I'm going to share my screen. I shared my screen. Can anyone of you, will you please confirm me my screen is visible or
Yes,
not?
ma'am, it's visible.
Visible. Thank you, ma'am. So, friends, yesterday also I have taken a session and I saw and I explained you that how we can work with Excel. So, Excel, we can work with Excel in many ways. It is not like we can only enter the data, but we can analyze that data also, and that way we can make the better decision. This is what we have seen yesterday. Now, going a step ahead, and we will see the next software, that is SPSS, which stands for statistical package for social sciences, right? So social science is a field, management comes under that. I belong to the management field. So we can say social science is a very broad field. Under that there are various disciplines come under that particular domain, right? So it is an umbrella, under that we can keep so many things. So so many research domain also available under the social science field. And for all those fields, whatever variable we are collecting, that variables we can analyze using the SPSS, right? So SPSS, as I said, it stands for statistical package for the social sciences, right? So it is a bundle of so many analytical tools, as we have seen in Excel yesterday, that we can apply the various kinds of descriptive statistics. Like I explained you the measures of central tendency, I explained you the measures of dispersion. Although I think I haven't explained you the data visualization, but I think it is quite easy to depict the data using the various types of graphs, so that we can easily do in Excel also, right? Then we have seen the measures of distribution also. Then, if we talk about the inferential statistics, I think I have explained only t-test yesterday. So, same things we can also do in SPSS, but the thing is, Excel has a limitation. I think yesterday some of you or one of you has asked me this question, that what is the difference between SPSS and Excel? So the biggest difference is, generally Excel is limited with the uh, range of the statistical tools. So in the data analysis toolpack, you can find we can apply t-test, we can apply Z, ANOVA we can apply, correlation, regression, covariance, and some of the time series analysis we can do along with the descriptive statistics. So these are the few ranges of the statistical tools available in Excel. But when we talk about SPSS, SPSS is a step ahead, as I said, right? So in this, we can find so many advanced statistical tools. Say, for example, if I want to perform factor analysis, that also I can do using SPSS. So that is the limitation of Excel. Excel cannot perform that. But in SPSS, you can do the multivariate analysis also. So that is the one of the most known advantage of the SPSS. Apart from that, Excel is somewhere restricted with the data, what I can say, volume. So number of rows and number of columns are fixed, right? So that way, being a academician, although you will say that it is suffice whatever number of data we are collecting, that means sample size would be max to max, it would be around 1,000 or something like that, right? So you will say, ma'am, that we can easily analyze using the using the Excel. But what if we are working in any corporate? Because in corporate we need to deal with the big data. Big data means the size or volume of the data will be very big. So we need to deal with such kind of data, and for dealing with such kind of data, Excel is not suffice. Excel is not sufficient because it cannot store that kind of data. So the next advantage is that when we are dealing with the large volume of the data, in that case we can go and use, or we can analyze that kind of data using the SPSS. So these are the few major important advantages of SPSS. Apart from that, now we can integrate SPSS with the programming languages also, right? So say, for example, if you want to work with R or Python, so now you can integrate those things in SPSS also. So that way there are so many advantages of SPSS, and that way the popularity of SPSS we all know, right? So SPSS previously was with the SPSS Incorporation, but after I think 1968, now it is under the IBM. So now IBM has IBM has acquired the license of the SPSS, and now it is a baby of IBM. So so I can say that now IBM is bringing so many different advanced versions of SPSS. Recently, the latest version is 26.0. I will today explain you the working of SPSS using SPSS 25.0, right? And the one more problem with SPSS is that if we want to work with SPSS, you need to have that software, right? But the problem of SPSS is that it is a costlier software. So you need to, if you want to work with that and you want to purchase its license version, so you need to pay a handsome amount. So that is a problem with the SPSS. But if we want to use SPSS for the free, so only IBM permits us for using SPSS for 1 month trial version period only, right? So that you can do. You can go on the IBM website, you can make your account there, and you can download SPSS for 1 month trial period, right? So that way you can use SPSS. So this is about SPSS. What things now we can do in SPSS? In SPSS, we can import the data, right? After importing the data, if we want to perform certain kind of, means I want to do the what I can say, I want to do the data clear, means I want to clear my data. So that also I can do in SPSS. If I want to perform any kind of analysis, that I can do, I can analyze the data and then I can interpret the data. Even if you want to transform your data, that type of facility is also available in SPSS. So today I'm going to cover, I'll show you how SPSS looks. I'll show you how we can import the file in SPSS. Then we'll see how we can work with SPSS. I'll explain you. There are two views of SPSS. I think those who have seen SPSS, they know it is very, or the resemblance of the screen of SPSS is very similar to the interface of Excel. So the interface is quite similar of SPSS and Excel. But the thing is, in Excel we know this thing, that Excel is a workbook and we can enter so many worksheets in that Excel, right? But when we talk about SPSS, in SPSS there will be only two sheets or two windows. that is data view and the variable view. So there are two views only, data view and variable view, right? So I can say data view, just a minute, I need to increase its size. I hope I am audible and clearly and everyone can hear me, right?
Yes,
Fine.
ma'am.
Yes, thank you. Second is the variable view. So data view means here you can import the data, or if you want you can manually enter the data. So it would be helping us to import the data, enter the data, and also we can perform analysis on the data here, right? Now, if I talk about the next view, that is the variable view, it is again an important view because here, just a minute, I need to check whether I have, yes. So now the variable view, this particular view, this particular window helps us to define variable. So this is the work of variable view. There are certain columns available in the variable view. Under those particular columns or parameters, we need to define our variable. So we will see once we will go on the SPSS and we will see how we can define our variable using those particular parameters, right? So this is the first thing about the SPSS, that there are two views, data view and the variable view, and I have written the working of these two views here, right? Now there would be output viewer also, that is output window. So once you are opening any of the SPSS worksheet or SPSS interface, once you are opening it, along with that output viewer will also be open for you, right? So whatever analysis you are performing on your main interface of SPSS, the output of that would be generated in this particular output viewer, right? So this is the one more thing about the SPSS. Then if we talk about the rules of defining variable or variables in SPSS. So there are certain rules we need to keep in our mind, because once you are, means if you are manually entering your data, so you need to give the name of your variable, right? So what rules you need to keep in your mind to define your variable in SPSS? So the first rule is, always you need to start the name. Always start the name of variable with alphabet. That is the first rule. Means we cannot, this is the do's, right? What we cannot do, we cannot define the name of our variable with any of the special character, neither the any number we can use to start the name of it, start the name of our variable. So this is the first fundamental rule. If we want to use any special character or any number in the name of the word or in the name of the variable, in that case you can use that in between the alphabet, or you can use that at the end of the name of your variable. Say for example, if I am writing the variable is, suppose, age, so it cannot be one age. I cannot write one age. If I will write this, SPSS will throw a warning message for me, right? So I cannot write this. Similarly, if I am writing dollar age, so this is again not defined. We cannot define my variable name like this. But if I want to write my variable name like age1, it is okay. There is no problem with the name. If I want to write age dollar, there is no problem. So that thing you need to see. If I want to write at the rate age, so this is permitted in SPSS. So if you want to start the name of your variable with at the rate, that is allowed in the defining section of the name of the variable. So this is permitted, right? Now, what if the variable name is containing more than two words? or more than one word, what we can do in that case? So for example, I'm writing, suppose, age of participants, right? If I have written this, if I'm doing this, and as I'll switch from this one particular cell to other cell, the SPSS will throw a warning. This is not allowed, right? So SPSS will throw a warning in legal character or something, right? So that type of warning we will get. So what if we want to define our variable name using more than one word? So in that case, you need to put underscore in between the two words, or you can put the period sign, that is the dot sign, between the name of the two words. It is allowed by SPSS. There is no problem in this way of defining the name of your variable. So this way, these are the some of the basic things you need to keep in your mind while defining the name of your variable. Fine, friends, it is okay. It is fine. Okay. Okay. Fine. Good. Thank you. Now I'll directly switch to the SPSS window. I hope the screen is visible. Okay. I hope you can interact now. Can anyone tell me SPSS window is visible or not? Anyone? I hope I'm audible today, right? Yes or no? Deepa ma'am is giving me hands up today. Deepa ma'am, I request you today. I think I can hear every one of you. So if it would be fine if you want to interact with me, right? Raghavi ma'am is saying no. LC Rani ma'am is saying yes. So friends, as this is the biggest drawback of the Google Meet. The drawback is what? If I will sharing something and I will once I'll share something and I will be on some other screen, I cannot see you people. So if you are writing something on chat, I cannot read that. Yesterday I have to manage. I was doing the switching between the screens.
Right now it is visible now.
Yes, fine. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everyone. Chaliye. So now next we will see the views of SPSS. Friends, you can see here at the bottom left corner, you can see I am rotating my mouse here. These are the two views you can see here, right? Presently, the variable view button is coming in some yellow color type color, right? Probably you can see also the same color. Maybe it can be it can be something different maybe also, because I have shared the screen. So if not, you can see color is different. I'm talking about the variable view. So it is indicating me that presently variable view is activated here, right? Once I'll click on data view, so you would be able to see this is the variable, or sorry, this is the data view, right? So here you can see var, it is written here. So that means there is no variable we have defined yet, right? So once I will define my variable here in this particular section, the name of that variable will appear in the column of the data view. Fine. So the look is very similar to Excel. As in Excel, we are writing the name of the variables in column, and each row is representing the respondents' responses. So similarly, in SPSS also, variable name we can see in the columns, and these rows will indicate the responses of the respondents. Is it fine? Okay with everyone, right? Fine, everyone?
Yes, yes.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So now I'll talk. Okay, thank you, everyone. So now I'll talk about this particular first view. Sorry, just a minute. Give me a second. Yes. So now I'll talk about the variable view, and here we will see how we can define our variable using SPSS variables view, right? So here you can see in the first, under the name, this is the first parameter which is asking me to put the name of my variable. So I'm writing here the name of my variable. It is gender, suppose, right? So now what you need to do, once you are writing the name of your variable in any particular cell or under the defined parameter, and I can switch from this cell to the next cell. So I'm pressing the tab key. So you can see once I'm pressing the tab key, some of the fields are already filled by SPSS. So this is indicating me that these are the by default values of these particular parameters. But it is not like we cannot change them. If we want, according to our requirement, we can change them also, right? So the first thing is we have written the name of our variable. So now we will see if I want to write here my name as one gender. Now I am switching from this cell to the next cell using the tab key. You can see we are getting one error message. Variable name contains an illegal first character. So it is not allowed. Now if I want to keep here the dollar sign before the name of the variable, pressing the tab key, again it is coming invalid variable name, pressing OK. Now, if I am writing gender 1 and switching from this cell to the next cell, you can see no error is coming. Similarly, if I am replacing this 1 by the dollar, so gender dollar, and again I am switching from this particular cell to the next cell using the tab key, you can see no error we are getting. Now, if I want to write, suppose I am writing here gender of participant, right? I have written the name of my variable in the 3 words. I am switching from this cell to the next cell using the tab key. You can see we are getting an error that variable name contains an illegal character. You can press OK. So if you want to do that, you can write underscore like this, and you can press the tab key. Now you can see we are not getting any error. Okay, so this way, these are the few things we need to keep in our mind while writing or defining the name of the variable. It is fine, everyone. May I switch to the next now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now we will talk about type. Type means what would be the type of your variable. SPSS is a kind of quantitative package. Usually it deals with number, right? So if it deals with number, so generally the by default type of the variable would be numeric. But what if we want to change it, right? So you can click on this cell. Once you will click, you can see 3 dots are coming. I'll click on that. It will show me all the types of variable: numeric, comma, dot, scientific notation, date, dollar, custom currency, string, restricted numeric, etc. Right? Mostly used variable types are numeric. And if you are using the name of the participants or respondents, you can go for the string also. If you are using date, or if you are collecting any date of birth or something like that, you can also use this date. So being a social science field researcher or academician, generally these 3 things we need to mostly use in case of defining the type of the variable, right? So this way it is by default numeric, right? If you want to make it a string, that also you can do, right? Now I am keeping it as numeric only, and you can press OK. Now going to the next, it is talking about width. So usually the role of width comes when your variable is of string type. Otherwise, there is no use of this width, right? So if I am writing, suppose I am writing the next variable, that is name. And then if I'm coming here, and here I am setting its type as a string, pressing OK. So in that way, the meaning of width is that it will store only 8 characters, right? So that is the meaning of this width. It will only take 8 characters. So generally, if the name of a person is very long, it is having more than 8 characters in the, or more than 8 alphabets. In that case, what we can do, we can increase its size using these up and down arrow. So if you will press on the up arrow, it will increase the size. If you will press the down arrow, it will decrease the size. Clear? So that way the meaning of width is, it is usually applicable in case of string variable. Is it clear till the third parameter? Is it fine, everyone? Is it fine? I hope I'm clear, right? May I move ahead?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. Now you can see the next parameter to define the variable is decimals. If you are dealing with a numeric variable, or if you are keeping the type of your variable as numeric, in that case there is a role of decimals. So now if your variable is discrete, discrete means a complete number. So there is no use of this decimal. You can make it 0 using this up and down arrow. Or if you are using, suppose I am measuring the weight of the people, right? In that case, I can define the weight in the decimal points also. So up to what decimal I want to express the weight, so that I can define using these decimals. That means I am measuring the weight of the people up to 2 decimal points or 3 or 4, it is up to us. But here in case of gender, there is no meaning of the decimal, so I am making it 0. And in case of name variable, there is no use of decimal, so it is by default 0 by the SPSS. You can see once I am coming on this particular cell, I am not finding here any up and down arrow because it is a kind of string variable, right? Next is the label. Label meaning is, here you can describe your variable without any hindrance. So we have seen the hindrance here in case of name, or in case of name of the variable. It is posing certain conditions on us for defining the name of the variable. But once we are talking about the label, it is free from all the restrictions, right? So here, if suppose I want to write the gender of participants, I can easily write. There is no problem. I can press tab, and that way you can see no error messages coming from SPSS to me, right? Generally, label we are using means it is a matter of practice only. So if those who are looking for SPSS very first time, or those who are understanding that how SPSS works for the first time, I suggest them that always practice this particular thing. Always define the name of your variable the way you want, right? Because many a time it happens, because generally it happens that we are collecting data only once. Means for 2-3 papers, I will collect the data only once. And that particular data I will use to write 2 or more than 2 papers, right? So always there would be a gap in the writing of the 2 papers or 3 papers. So that way, as the time proceeds, we generally forget the things. We are unable to recall the things, that what is the meaning of this particular thing or something like that. So this way, this label will always help you. It will always guide you, explain you, or describe you in a proper manner that what is that particular thing you have written in the name. Generally, we can write it like Jen also, suppose, right, to shortcut these things. But in future, maybe we can forget. So that way, the label is the very good option available in SPSS under the variable view, which will help us to explain or describe our variable with the without the any hindrance, right? Moving ahead, talking about the values. Now, as yesterday I have explained you about the gender. So same, suppose you can see now I am switching from variable view to data view. You can see 2 variable name I have defined in the variable view, and once I'm coming in the data view, I can see the name of the variables as the heading of the columns, right? So this is the variables, right? If suppose I'm writing here 1, 2, 2, 1, like this, okay, fine. Now name, maybe I can discuss this thing later on. So suppose firstly I have written the gender, I have entered the gender 121212121212. Maybe I am working presently on a paper and using this gender variable, and I know this thing right now that 1 is male and 2 is female. But what if suppose in future I am using the same file after 2-3 months, I am using the same file for some other data analysis. So might be I'll be little puzzled that one I have written for female or male, right? So that way, this particular values option is here, which will help you to define your labels, right? So, or your categories. So here, once I will click on this values, 3 dots are coming. You can click on this, and here you can define one is your male, sorry, is your male, and you can add it, right? Second is suppose my female category. I am adding it. And once I'll press OK, you can see that it is defined, right? Now, suppose again I'm coming and I'm selecting this one male, right? Suppose now I want to change this. I want to write, I want to define male as 0, suppose. So now you can see once I have changed it, it is giving me two options. Either I want to add this or either I want to change this, right? As male is already available. So SPSS is smart enough because it's a software. It's very smart. It is understanding. Either I want to add a new category here with the same label, or I want to replace my already existing category with this. So according to our requirement, we can do that, right? So although I'm not changing anything here, right? Now you can see once I'm selecting this, one more option is coming. It is remove. So if you will click on remove, this particular one equals to male will be removed. Fine. Is it clear to everyone? Okay, fine. Okay, I think someone has raised the hand. Okay. So who has raised the hand? Okay. I can see some hand was raised, but I think it is okay, fine. Give me a second. Now we will move to the next point. So we have seen values. Now we will go for the missing. So usually in SPSS, there are two types of missing values. We will write here the missing values in SPSS. So the first is user defined and second one is system defined. So these are the two types of missing values, user defined missing values and system defined missing values. So firstly we will see the system defined. System defined missing values is the actual missing values which are not available with us. They are known as system defined missing values. These are generally denoted by the period, that is dot sign in the SPSS. So you can see, suppose I'm creating one more variable age. Now you can see, I think someone has forgot to mute himself or herself. Suma Ghosh, ma'am, I think. Suma Ghosh, ma'am, or sir, I don't know. Please unmute yourself. Ma'am, please mute yourself. Suma, ma'am, it is creating noise. Suma, ma'am, will you please mute yourself? Okay, I think sound is not coming. Ma'am has muted. Okay, fine. So now you can see I was explaining you the missing values in SPSS. So I said there are two types of missing values. System defined missing values and user defined missing values. So we are talking firstly about the system defined missing values. System defined missing values are those values which are already not available with us. They are known as system defined missing values. And SPSS shows them by this period sign. You can see I have entered the data for the gender, but I have not entered the data for the age. So that way it is SPSS is taking as it SPSS is taking it as that this data is not available with us. So that is why we have not entered it. So this is user defined. Generally we can see dots are coming. This is period signs, right? So this period sign is indicating that this is a system defined missing value. I hope it is clear. Fine. Clear? Okay, Sudha ma'am, thank you. So for example, if I'm collecting any data manually, I have made a questionnaire and I'm doing a field survey for collecting that data. So for example, any of the respondent is not comfortable in giving the answer of any question. So might be possible he or she has skipped that question. And that way it will be a missing data for me. And this data is known as system defined missing data. Clear, I hope, right? Moving to the next type of missing value. So the next type of missing value is the user defined missing value. So here, being a user, we can define that this would be the missing value for me, right? So what you need to do, you can come in this none and you can click on these three dots. You would be able to see the missing values dialog box, right? Here you can see it is giving us three options. The first is no missing values, means by default there is no missing values defined by the SPSS. SPSS is understanding that whatever the data we are taking under this gender, all is present. We are not defining them as a missing. Talking about the another two type, that is discrete missing values. So discrete missing values, say for example, I am coming to this, selecting the discrete missing values. So here it is giving me three options. So here three different values I can put. Although it is not mandatory, all three boxes you need to fill. So if suppose I have written here 1. So 1 is what? 1 is the male category. So for example, for my next paper, I only want to conduct that particular study for the female. So that way I do not want to include the gender in my data. So I can come and define here 1. So that way SPSS will understand that 1 should be missed while the analysis, right? So that way SPSS will not consider the data of 1 that is male category. So this is the discrete missing value. Next is the range plus 1 optional discrete missing value. So if suppose you are dealing with, suppose you are collecting the income you are having in the certain intervals, or maybe income you have directly asked, or age you have directly asked from your respondents, right? So might be possible, suppose you are, just a minute, I'm coming to the data view, I'm entering certain dates here, right? Suppose these are the some of the dates I have entered here for explaining you this missing value range, right? So coming to this, again clicking on this, and now you can see here. So range plus 1 optional discrete missing value. So coming, selecting this, and if suppose I want to only conduct my study for the youth, but once I look at my data, I'll see, I have, I mean, suppose you have done the sorting of your data and that we have found the minimum and maximum value. So might be possible it is indicating me there is a minor data is also available and old age people data is also available, suppose, right? Suppose I do not want to include the data of the particular person who is belonging to the age of 15 to 17, and also if suppose there is one observation I have found that there is a data of a person who is 50-year-old, I do not want to include that data in my study. So that way you can define it. Although you can see only you need to define range, it is not mandatory to define for you, right? Once you will click on OK, that way Excel will understand that whatever the age of the person or whomsoever age is in between 15 to 17, they should not be included in the analysis, and also the person who is having the age of 50 years, he should not be included, or they should not be included in the study. Fine. So this is known as system defined missing, this is known as user defined missing value. Means being a user, we are defining that please do not include these things for my analysis purpose. Is it fine, everyone? Radhika ma'am is saying okay, very good. Okay, Ashiana ma'am, Ashian ma'am, Sudha ma'am, okay, Jancy ma'am, very good. Anita ma'am, very good. Thank you, everyone. So it is, we have seen the missing. Coming to the columns, column and alignment. These two are for the, these two are the cosmetic effects, right? As the females are doing the makeup, it is the same, right? So now what you need to do, you need to understand by default value of the columns is 8. So I'll show you in the data view. Suppose I am stretching this. You can see, right? Now we see the impact of this in the variable view. You can see the column extended or column width has extended till 12, right? So this is only for the beautification purpose of your data. So if suppose I have written the name, suppose I'm coming here and I'm writing my own name. So you can see I'm typing here, but I'm not able to type here. Why? Because here you can see in the name, the width is only 8. I need to increase the width if I want to write the complete name of mine. So I have done that. Now I'm coming back, I'm writing my complete name. It is allowing me to do so. Now you can see my name is written. So once I'll stretch this, I would be able to see the complete name, right? You can find here the columns width has changed from 8 to 10 now, right? For the name variable. Similarly, for the alignment, if I say generally numeric, whatever variables are numeric, their alignment is right. And for the string variable, alignment is left. These are the by default. If you want to make changes, you can click on this, and according to your requirement, you can make changes. If you want to keep your data right align, that you can do center align or left align. According to your need, you can make changes. So this way, this was the alignment and columns. Talking about the measure. So measure is we have already seen yesterday, as coincidentally yesterday I have taken your session, I explained you the measurement scales. So the same thing we can find here. So you can see once I'm clicking on this, it is giving me 3 options. Although yesterday I have explained to you there are 4 measurement scales. Can anyone repeat them?
Nominal,
Yes.
ordinal,
Very good.
ratio,
Very good.
and one more क्या था?
Interval.
Interval, right?
Very good, Ankita ma'am. And I think Anjali ma'am, right?
Ankita. Thank
Ankita ma'am I said, and I think well, the 4th one is said by Anjali ma'am.
Yes.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Thank you. Very correct. Very correct. So we have seen these things. There are 4 types of measurement scales available to measure variable in social sciences. That is nominal, ordinal, interval, and ratio. This is the sequence of these 4 scales. But once we are coming in SPSS, we can find only 3 is available: nominal, ordinal, and scale. So in SPSS, interval and ratio is comprised under this scale only. So if your variable is measured on interval scale, if you are measuring a variable on ratio scale, you will select its measurement scale as scale only, right? According to these symbols, we can identify. Nominal means only for the categorization purpose. So set type of diagram you can see. Ordinal is allowing you to do the ranking. So you can see the bar type of thing is coming. Scale means you can see it is an actual scale, and we all have seen the scale. So that is, it is indicating you it's a numeric, right? So this way, according to the nature of your variable, you can set the measurement scale of your variable. So this way, these are the things we are taking in use for defining the name of the variables. I hope all the things I discussed here are clear, right? Fine. May I move ahead? Okay. Okay. So can anyone tell me how many of you are performing, or how many of you are having this software? Anyone is having this software, or only you people are understanding the processes? Okay. Deepa ma'am is saying no. Okay.
you. No, ma'am.
Ankita ma'am is also saying no. Matlab, the meaning is that many of you do not have. Okay. SPSS 18 is also okay, ma'am. No problem. Dhara ma'am, it is fine. If you are having, it is fine. Those who are not having, maybe they are looking. Okay. Many of you are not having. Okay. Fine. So means we are only understanding. Okay. So that means I am only here performing. So those who wants to work with SPSS in future, they can note down these steps, right? Keep your copy and pen along with you, notebook and pen along with you, and that way you can note down these steps. Now I'll explain you how to import data, data in SPSS. Give me a second. It's a call from the college. It's urgent call I need to take. I'm back. Extremely sorry. It was very urgent to take. That's why I have taken. Extremely sorry.
No, it's okay, ma'am.
Okay. Thank you, Ravi sir. So again, I'll come back to the, yes, this. And now I'll explain you how to import data in SPSS, right? So those who are only looking at the screen, those who are not having this thing to do the hands-on practice along with me, I request them, you can note down the steps, right? So the first step is you need to click on the file menu, right? Then you can click on open and then you can select data. So you can take the screenshot of this also, or you can capture a pic of this. It is for the importing of the data purpose. So I have selected this. You can see file, open and data, right? Those who want to capture, they can capture. So I'm clicking on this data. Now I have clicked on this data. You can see open data dialog box is coming, right? So the first section is login. So in login, it is asking me for the location. At what location I want to, or from what location I want to pick my file, right? So it is the location I need to give here. So I think I have already shared a file with all of you, but problem is you people cannot work as you people not having this software. So you can only see what I'm doing here, right? Give me a second. I need to open a folder to open my file. Okay. So I'm selecting the appropriate folder here to open the file. Now you can see I am on the folder from where I need to pick the file. So here in the next, what you need to do, if suppose I want to open a Excel file. So under this files of type, we can see it is giving me SPSS statistics. So once you will click on this drop or the drop down arrow, you can see there is various ranges of the files available with the extension, right? So if suppose I am clicking on this Excel, so it is once I will select the appropriate extension, it will show me all the relevant extension file in this particular section. So here only one file is available with the name T data. So I'm selecting this file and I'm clicking on open. Once I click on open, SPSS may take maybe few seconds. You can see it is taking few seconds. Now in this you can find, because we are working with the Excel sheet, right? So in the Excel, we know in Excel workbook, there are so many worksheets, right? So under the worksheet, if suppose more than one worksheets are available in your Excel file, you can click on this drop down. All the worksheets would be shown to you. According to your need, you can select the appropriate sheet, right? As in the file which I have shared with all of you and which I am opening here, there is only one sheet available. So that's why we can go with that particular one sheet, right? and this would be the preview of your data. And apart from that, you do not need to do anything here. You can only press OK. Once you will press OK, in few seconds, SPSS will open the file for you, or SPSS will import the data from that file in the SPSS for us, right? So give few seconds to SPSS to perform that thing, and that way we will be ready. Yes, you can see this is the file opened here with the variables T, income and gender. Now this is the variable view, right? Now I'll click on the data view, and I think you can see these are the 3 variables available in the Excel sheet, and these 3 as it is we have imported in the SPSS. So the benefit of importing is that you do not need to define the name of your variable once you are importing your data. So whatever the name was defined in your file, same will be copied down in the SPSS. But if you want to make any changes, you can come here and you can make changes according to your need in the name of variables or in the some other parameters of the variable, right? So this way we can import the data. This is the first way. Directly you can click on this open icon, open data icon, this yellow icon. I think you can see I'm rotating my mouse. You can click on this, it will direct open the open data, and then the rest of the process will be same, right? One more way, you can click on the file and then you can come to the import data, and it is indicating you the extension type, means which type of file you want to open, whether you want to open an Excel file or CSV or text file, whatever you want to open, you can select from here, and that way the same process you need to follow to import that file in the SPSS. So we have seen there are three ways. We can go with the file menu or file tab, we can go with the open data icon, or we can go to the import data under the file menu. I hope it is clear, right? May I move ahead? Is it fine, everyone? Yes. Thank you. Thank you for the motivation. It gives me real motivation. Thank you. Now we can see there are 3 variables available: T, income and gender. So now income is already available in this particular sheet. If I want to perform descriptive statistics for the income variable in SPSS, what I need to do? So there you can find there are so many menus or tabs available. So analyze is the tab which is comprising all of the statistical tools which we can perform in SPSS. So I'll click on this and you can see the ranges of the various types of tools available in SPSS. So as we are interested in the descriptive statistics, so you can click on analyze, then you can select descriptive statistics, and then you can go for the frequency calculation or you can go for the descriptives. So the most appropriate here is descriptives, as we are dealing with the continuous variable, as income is a continuous variable. But if you are dealing with a gender, you can go for the frequencies also, right? So for continuous variable, descriptives is appropriate here. I am clicking on this, right? Once I'll click on the descriptives dialog box, I will be landed on this descriptives box. Now, at the left hand side, at the left pane, we can see all the variables of the sheet are available. Suppose I want to work with income. I have clicked on this income. I can shift this income using this arrow in the variables box. Now you can see it is shifted from here to here, right? Now you can click on options. Once you will click on options, you can see under the descriptive options, few of the statistics or few of the basic statistics is already checked by the SPSS. These are the by default things. If you will not do anything, and after shifting a variable, if you will directly click on OK, so the SPSS will give you the mean of the income, standard deviation of the income, minimum value of the income, and maximum value of the income. If suppose you want to calculate the variance, range, kurtosis, skewness also of your variable, that also you can can check. Similarly, suppose sum also, and then you can press continue, and then you can press only OK. And in the output window, this is the output viewer. You can see this is the output viewer. Here you can see in this interface, you can see we are getting the descriptive statistics for our variable income. So here you can see observation, total observations are 30 for the income. The range of this particular is 18,050. Minimum income is 16,950. Maximum income is 1,35,000. Sum of income is 11 lakhs, 11 lakhs something. Mean income is 38,000 something. Standard deviation of income is 24,000 something. Variance of the income is maybe in crores, I think 6 crores something. And then talking about skewness. Skewness value is coming as 2.837 and the kurtosis value is coming as 8.857, right? So this way, these are the things we are getting in the output window of the SPSS for the income variable, and that way we can understand what is the maximum income, what is the minimum income, what is the mean income, what is the skewness for the income, and what is the kurtosis of the income. So in, as I said yesterday, I think I explained, skewness and kurtosis we are using for checking whether the variable is normally distributed or not. So if skewness is coming in a range of plus minus 2, so we can say somewhere that the variable is approximately normally distributed, right? So here you can see that skewness is coming as 2.8. So it is exceeding the range. It is more than plus 2. So that way we can say income is not normally distributed. Similarly, kurtosis is again going beyond the plus minus 3. So it is again indicating that kurtosis is or the income is not normally distributed. This way you can check. Using these parameters, you can conclude about the normality of your variable. Is it fine, everyone? Descriptive statistics is clear? Okay.
Ma'am, I want to say something that it is clear that it is not possible through only theoretical method. It's very difficult now, madam.
Sorry?
It is very difficult to understand SPSS or any statistical analysis through theoretical method.
Theoretical method means I'm not getting. I think I'm explaining you through this. I'm not getting you.
This is the practice thing, not possible through only theoretical method.
In that case, I cannot help because I am having the software, so I'm explaining you. So you people can download it. You can see the this particular recording would be available with all of you. You can see the recording and you can practice. Or in meanwhile, I said you people, you can note down these steps. To get the descriptive statistics, as I said, you can click on analyze. You can click on descriptive statistics. You can go to the descriptives. So either you can take a pic and you can write in the image that this is for the descriptive statistics, or you can write this thing on your copy or in your notebook that to perform descriptive statistics we need to go on the analyze menu, we need to select descriptive statistics, then we need to select descriptives. So that way you can make your notes also, sir. And once you are going for the trial version of this particular software, you can do the practice also. Fine. I think session is 1.5 hours only long. So the duration is only 90 minutes. And in 90 minutes, I cannot explain you each and everything. But at least basic things I need to tell you. So that I am explaining. Fine, sir?
Yes, ma'am. This is the practical thing.
Yes. So I think we are usually we are organizing a whole 7 days workshop for SPSS. So in that, maybe I don't know you have joined previously or not, because I have taken so many times the SPSS workshop. In that, generally we are giving the trial period or that trial version link that you can download for a month, and that way you can do the hands-on practice along with me if you are attending that particular workshop. Or I think, although I do not need to say this thing as this is the online platform and being academician is not correct, but I think many of we can easily find the correct version also. It is easily available.
Today I will request to RFI team that it is possible to take sessions of this offline.
Sir, you are from which city?
I am from Bihar, madam, Darbhanga district.
Okay. Okay. I think we can request Ajay sir if he can plan something in offline mode, right? Okay, sir, fine. I think Ravi sir is talking to me, right, Ravi sir?
Yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yes. Okay. Actually, I'm trying my best, but if this software is not with you, I can understand it is little difficult without doing a hands-on practice. Yesterday, we have done this using Excel, so maybe people have understood that thing better way, right? But this is, I think, quite difficult. I can
I
understand it.
I work on e-views, but little I cannot understand all the things.
Okay. Okay.
But
Okay, sir.
screenshots will be useful for us in some or other way. So I request you to please, can we proceed to the next topic? Because
Yes,
I,
yes,
it's
yes, yes,
obvious.
Ashwin, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So I think this way we can find the descriptive statistics, right? So I have explained you descriptive statistics. Now moving to the sheet again, coming back. Yes. I explained you this. Now I'll tell you the transformation, how you can transform your variable in SPSS. So transformation also we can done in the SPSS if we want to recode our variable. Transform means we can recode also in the SPSS. So how we can do that recoding in SPSS? So for recoding, you need to click on the transform menu. And in this, you can find compute variable. The very first option is available, right? That is the one thing. Second one is recode into same variable and recode into the different variable. So these are the things you can use to transform your variable, right? So firstly, we will come here and we'll see we are having how many labels of t, right? So I'll come to the, you can see here total how many values are given here. So we can just a minute, we can go to the analyze menu, again descriptives, and then we can go to the frequency. I'll shift the t from this to the variables, and then I only want to calculate the frequencies. Just a minute. Yes, I want to only calculate frequencies. You can see by default this display frequencies table is checked. You can press OK, and that way you can find here. So there are total 1, 2, 3, 4. These are the four types of T available. These are the frequencies available. So that way we have made here the frequency table for us, right? Using the, again I'll repeat, you can use the analyze descriptive statistics, and then you can go to the frequencies. So generally these frequencies we are calculating for the categorical variable, right? Now, as we have seen that there are total 4 types of T available. So I'll come here and come to the variable view. As you can find here, there is no labels defined. So suppose I'm defining the label. One is indicating, suppose it is a plain T. I'm adding it. 2, suppose I'm writing it is a masala tea. I'm adding. 3, suppose I'm writing it is a lemon tea. I'm adding. 4, suppose I'm writing it is a ginger tea. I'm adding and pressing OK. So now I have clearly defined 1 is plain, 2 is masala, 3 is lemon, I think, and 4 is ginger tea, right? So these are the 4 types of tea we have taken here, and 1, 2, 3, 4 are representing that. Now if I want to transform, I want to club these categories of the tea. Suppose I want to merge plain and masala in one category and ginger and lemon in the second category. So how I can transform that, right? You can go to the transform menu, and here you can find recode into same variables and recode into different variables. So firstly, we will understand the meaning of this, and then I'll explain you how we can use these, right? So recode into same variables meaning is we can recode the variable in the same variable, means your existing variable will be replaced by your recoded variable, right? Recode into different variables meaning is your existing variable will remain same, and SPSS will create one more variable with whatever way you are recording it, right? These are the 2 things. Generally, suggestive one is we should go with the recode into different variables, because that way you would be able to preserve your existing variable and you are creating your new variable. So maybe in future, if you want to work with your existing variable, that way you can work with that. So generally, I suggest usually to go with the recode into different variables. So I'm selecting recode into different variables. So you can see I clicked on this and decode into different variables dialog box is coming in front of us. Now we are interested to recode T. So I'm shifting T using this arrow key into the input variable box. Once I have shifted this, you can see the last section is activated now. And output, it is asking for the output variable name. So suppose I want to create a new variable as T1, right? And I'm clicking on change. Now you can see that question mark has replaced by T1. So that means it is indicating or meaning of this is that T will be recorded as T1. So that means SPSS will create a new variable with the name T1, right? Now you can click on old and new values. And then under this, you can see at the left hand side, it is the old value section, and at the right hand side, this is the new value section. So the old value we are knowing there are 4 old value 1, 2, 3 and 4, and I want to merge 1 and 2 into the one category, 3 and 4 into the next category. So suppose I am writing old value is 1 and I want to keep this 1 in the one category, first category only, and I can add this. Then I am writing 2 and I want to merge the 2 into the first category. So I am adding this. So that way you can see 1 and 2 will be now coded as 1, right? 3 is the old value, new I want to write as 2. I am adding it. And 4 is the old value and I want to write it as 2 and adding it. So I think it is quite understanding. You people can easily understand. 1 and 2 I have merged under the first category. 3 and 4 I have merged under the category 2. And I am pressing continue. Once I'll press continue, I'll be back on the same box. And here you do not need to do anything. You can only press OK. And that way, in the output viewer, you can find it is giving me that the execution is done for this recording, and I can see that execution in my file. And this interface is data viewer or data editor is showing me that the new variable is added as T1, right? And now you can see 2 is coded as 1, 4 is coded as 2, 1 is coded as 1, 3 is coded as 2. So whatever we want to do, we have done it. Is it clear? I hope. Is it clear to everyone? Was it easy? Okay. Okay. Okay, fine. Thank you. So now I can come to the variable view and I am changing the decimals from 2 to 0. And if I want to define my label, suppose I am clicking on this and suppose now I want to write 1. So what I can give the name to the new category? Can anyone suggest me? Plain and masala I can clubbing. So what name I can give? Anyone? Any suggestion from your side? Yes? Any suggestions? No suggestions?
Green tea.
Okay, Ankita ma'am is saying green. A regular Indian flavor of favorite milk. Okay.
Favorite, Indian favorite.
Indian favorite. Okay. Great. I'll go with regular. I think I am writing regular. Right? Pressing add. 2, suppose I'm writing these are the healthy drinks or healthy tea, right? So I'm writing it as healthy. Pressing add and okay. So now we have plain and masala we have merged under the regular category, and ginger and the lemon tea I have merged under the healthy category. Fine. So this way this is known as transformation of the variable. Is it fine, everyone? Okay. Okay. Yes, I hope. Okay, some of the thumbs up I can see. Okay, fine, good. So I think recording is clear, transformation of the variable is clear. Now we will move to the next thing. If suppose, just a minute, I'm creating few variables here. Suppose V1, V2, V3. Purposefully I have created this for our purpose. Suppose these are the 3 variables on Likert scale, that is 5-point Likert scale. I think everyone knows Likert scale, right? Likert scale is clear. Likert scale is clear. Okay. I hope many of you are knowing. Good. So suppose I am entering some of the data here. I am not fulfilling the complete data. I am only entering the few data points here to make you understand the working of it, right? as this is a demo only. Fine. I have entered few of the values for V1, V2, and V3. These all are the Likert scale. So maybe I have coded them. For example, I am using the strongly agree, agree, neutral, disagree, and this strongly disagree kind of scale, right? So strongly disagree will be 1, disagree will be 2, 3 would be neutral, 4 will be agree, and 5 will be strongly agree. Is it fine, everyone? Now, I want to let you know one more thing. Suppose I want to create a new variable here using the next option. So suppose I'm clicking on the transform menu. I want to compute now. So I'm clicking on the compute. And at the first section, you can see the target variable. You can see our cursor is blinking. It is asking us to give the name, right? So suppose I'm writing here. Suppose I am writing the name. Sorry, first caps lock is on. So I'm writing it as opinion. I want to give the new name of my variable as opinion, right? Now I'll come to the numeric expression box. I'll click here. I'll shift my cursor from here to here, right? Now I'm putting this brackets. Inside the bracket, I am passing my variables. I want to get the average of these three, right? Shifting them using this, putting this plus sign using this calculator, then shifting this V3 like this. Now come out to the brackets, use this, divide, and these are total 3. So you can divide them by 3, right? So now you can see we are all done. We want to take the average of all the 3 Likert scale variable and want to create a new variable with the name opinion. I'll click on OK. Once I'll click on OK, you can see it is giving me the message. Output window of SPSS is giving me the message that this is executed. Fine, clear. Now I want to see. So you can see here in the data editor, it is showing me new variable is created and these are the figures we are getting. Clear to everyone? Compute, how compute works. Okay, fine. Thank you. So now we'll go for the next thing. As in 1.5 hour session, I cannot include each and everything. So only superficially I'll explain you few things, right? So here I'm telling you few more things. I'll come here and suppose you can see again we are having the same data, gender and income, which we have seen in Excel yesterday. So suppose here again I want to create a hypothesis. There is no significant difference in the mean income of male and female, right? This is my hypothesis. So I think everyone is easily say this thing to me. How many variables are there?
2.
2. Ma'am, may I know which 2?
Income and gender.
Very correct. Thank you. I think it is now known to everyone. There are 2 variables available with the name income and gender. So I can write here we are having the income variable and we are having the gender variable. It is categorical in nature and it is numeric, right? And when I want to see the difference in the income of male and female, that means if you are looking for the mean difference, you can go for the t-test, because the basic requirement of t-test, you should have one numeric variable and one categorical variable with 2 categories. So 2 categories are male and female, right? So I want to see the difference, mean difference. So that way, here the appropriate test is t-test, that is independent samples t-test, right? Now, I want to test this hypothesis at suppose 5% level of significance. Fine. I'll come back to the file. Now, to perform t-test, what we need to do? You can go to the analyze menu. You can go to the compare means and you can select independent samples t-test. So, it is Unlike Excel, because in Excel yesterday I explained you, we need to bifurcate the income of male and female to perform t-test. But in SPSS, the format of data will be different. Here we will have one variable in one column and other variable in other column. We do not need to segregate the data according to the categories. So this is the beauty of SPSS. Fine. So here again I'll repeat, go to the analyze menu, select compare means, and then select independent sample status. I'll click on this. I hope you people have captured the image, right? Those who want. So I'm clicking on independent sample status. So that way it is showing me the box of independent sample status. All the variables are listed at the left hand side. Now you need to shift your variable according to your need in the next boxes. There are two boxes, grouping variable box and the test variable box. So the test variable will always be your scale variable or will always be your numeric variable. So you need to shift your income variable, that is your numeric variable. We are shifting this into the test variables box, right? Second variable is gender, which we are shifting in the grouping variables box. You can see once I am shifting it, the define groups button is activated or highlighted. You can click on this. You can define group 1 is 1 and group 2 is 2, because we have given the categories on 1 and 2. If you are giving the variable with some other number, so that numbers you need to pass it on here, right? You can press continue and it is all set. You do not need to do anything. Only you can check your options, because I need to explain you the confidence interval percentages. So if we are checking the hypothesis at 5% level of significance, so it is quite understanding that the confidence interval percentage will be 95%, right? So if you want to make changes, you can click on this. You can enter the value from your keyboard, whatever value you want to keep here, right? But we are testing our hypothesis at 5% level of significance. So the confidence interval percent will be 95 only. You can press continue button and then you can press OK to generate the output. Once you will press OK, you would be able to see the output of t-test in the output viewer, right? Now you can see the first table of the t-test is telling us, it is clearly telling us gender 1 and 2. I think we have defined, right? No, just a minute, I need to see. Okay, here we have not defined the meaning of 1 and 2. So if you will define 1 is what and 2 is what under the values, the output of SPSS will come like that only. So here in place of 1, we will find male and 2 for female. As we have not defined for that particular data, so it is not showing me like this, right? So here 1 and 2 is written. So it is indicating, suppose we are assuming 1 is male, 2 is female. So it is telling me there are total 16 male respondents and there are total 14 female respondents. So the mean income of male respondents is 45,382.81 and the mean income of females are 30,150. This is the standard deviation of the mean and this is the standard error of the mean. Coming to the next section, that is the independent samples t-test table, you can see first section is for the Levens test of equality, right? So if there are usually in statistics for each and every test, there are certain assumptions. As again, I'll repeat, session is very short. I cannot talk about those other assumptions. I'll only explain you directly here, right? So here we can see we need to check whether the variance is equal between the groups or not. So two groups are there, male group and female group. We need to check whether the variance of income is same in both the groups or not, right? So this we are testing using the Levens test, right? So Levens test value is coming as 6.259 and its significant value is coming as 0.018. So this 0.018 is less than 0.05, right? So this value is less than 0.05. That means we are rejecting the null hypothesis of the F test. So that way we can conclude that the variance is not equal. So variance is not equal, meaning you will go with the second row. First row is for equal variance, second row is for not equal variance. So we will go with the second row and further we will report this t value and this degrees of freedom and this significant or p value. So according to this, the p value for the t is 0.081, which is greater than 0.05. That means we are not going to reject the null hypothesis. So that way we can conclude that there is no significant difference in the mean income of male and female. Fine, everyone? Is it clear? I hope. Okay. Okay, I think many of you are saying yes. Okay. Gurjeet ma'am is saying, Sudha ma'am, Pradika ma'am, Namita ma'am, very good. Dhara ma'am, very good. Very good. I think it is quite clear. Okay, well done. Okay, just a minute. Yeah. So that way I explained you how we can perform independent sample t-test. I'll now only show you some other things that you can do or you can apply. So to apply the one sample t-test, again, you need to go to the analyze menu. You can go to the compare means, and in this section, you can select the one sample t-test. Also, if you want to perform paired samples t-test, it is also available here. If you want to perform one way ANOVA, it is also available here. Similarly, if you want to perform correlation, it is available here. Regression also available here. There is variety of regression. So various types of regression models are available. So according to your need, you can select the appropriate regression tool which you want to perform. Similarly, for the dimension reduction, that is factor analysis, you can go for this dimension reduction factor. For the non-parametric test, you can go to the non-parametric section and you can perform these non-parametric tests. So this way, these are the range of the tools available in SPSS. According to our need, we can perform them, right? For classification, cluster analysis and all, discriminant analysis or analysis and all, you can come to this section, right? ANOVA, means two-way ANOVA or something, you can come to the general linear model. So that way there are varieties of tests available in SPSS, but I think in the one session or 1.5 hour session, we cannot conclude all these things, right? So I think this is all from my side for the day. Now the session is open or the forum is open for the question and answer. So if you have any queries, you can please ask me.
Ma'am, from where I can download this SPSS?
Ma'am, you can directly go to the IBM SPSS once you will like on Google, any browser, you can write IBM SPSS. It will directly lead you to that particular page. There is no problem. Easily you will get, but the problem is it will be available for 1 month only. It's a trial version page. Yeah, it's a trial version software available for you. You can create your account there. It will ask you to create your account, because a problem is that it is tracking after the period over, and if you want to means download that particular software, so it's IBM website will not allow you to do so. Even if you want to use certain some different ID, that also is not possible.
Okay. Thank you, ma'am.
Okay. So I think platform is open, everyone. You can ask me questions. Give me a second. I will stop sharing my screen. Yes. Any questions so far? No questions? I think today we can interact. Why people are talking to me?
If anyone is having any query, please just to ask. Now you can openly ask your questions.
Can you suggest the simple SPSS manual?
Simple SPSS manual.
As in for beginners.
Ma'am, I think if you will go on Google and write this particular keyword, I think easily you will get a range of PDF available. Range of PDFs are available. Anyone you can download easily, right?
Thank
So yes, thank you, Anjali ma'am. I think it will come from practice only.
Yes.
Ma'am, after trial period of 1 month, then paid version is possible or not?
No, it is a costly software, sir. You need to take a license of it. If in your college it is available, it is good. That way you can download it. Otherwise, I think no one can easily work with this. But I think cracked version is available. Although being a trainer, I do not need to say this thing on that, even that in public forum or public platform. But I think my students are doing these things.
And
But some functions are restricted in that, ma'am.
Obviously, but at least, ma'am, we can work. Obviously, ma'am, but at least we can work. And whatever being academician we need to work, it is allowing us to do. So there is no problem with that.
Ma'am, just one silly question which I have, like the same thing which when we collect the data from Google Forms right now, right? The
Yes.
same way we export it to Excel and then the same applications we do it, right? That will be easy.
Yes. But thing
Then
is
there
in
is no need.
Excel, but problem with Excel is, ma'am, say for example, because nowadays we know we are living in which kind of era, right? Problem is that usually the reviewers or the good journals are not entertaining these papers which are having the very simple types of statistical tool we have applied. So we need to apply the advanced statistical tools, and that is there is a problem with Excel. Excel cannot work with them. That is the problem.
Thank you, ma'am.
I think this recorded session will be provided by RFI team.
Is this software available on Google Play Store?
No. No, Gurmeet, ma'am.
One request to RFI team: can this course be possible offline? RFI team, please.
Please repeat your question, sir.
Ma'am, can this course work possible offline?
Sorry, sir. We have to discuss about this with our team.
Okay.
This recording session will be provided by RFI team. Will it?
I think yes, Ankita ma'am, it would be, I think, available on YouTube. I think YouTube
Ma'am,
live is
actually
going
on
on.
YouTube, on YouTube, it's already available there. Even we have shared the link. But if we talk about the offline, so right now it's not at all decided about that.
Ma'am, I don't have link actually. Only I have link for a 1-day session. Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes,
Ankita
please.
ma'am, are you talking to me?
No, ma'am. I'm talking to Nikita, ma'am.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
ma'am.
मैम आई एम सेइंग मेरे पास सिर्फ एक ही दिन का जो सेशन रिकॉर्डेड है उसी का ही लिंक है बाकी जो अभी जो इतने दिन के रिकॉर्डेड सेशंस है वेयर आई कैन डाउनलोड इट
We will again reshare the link in the group so you can follow that link and just go through your lectures then.
ओके थैंक यू
Any more queries and questions, participants?
थैंक यू चंचल मैम
Ma'am,
Thank you.
if we want to take assistance from any of the the lecturer regarding paper publication and all, is it possible? If we want help from them?
Sorry, ma'am, we can't say anything about that right now.
Okay, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so
Okay,
much,
so
Ansela, ma'am.
yes,
was
Nikita
really
ma'am, ma'am,
informative
before
and
ending the session, can we capture the pics?
Sure.
So anyone of you are switching on your cameras and we can capture your faces for the remembrance purpose. Oh, Gurmeet ma'am is traveling somewhere, I think. Okay. Okay.
Yes, traveling.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. I can see few of you, Ravi sir. I think it is ASEAN ma'am, right? Correct pronunciation? Yes.
It's
I'm
Ashia.
capturing. ASEAN. Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. I captured. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was really nice, full and thoughtful session. Even we have enjoyed every minute of your lecture, as well as your marvelous sense of humor. Thank you so much, ma'am, and thank you so much all the participants to being a patient listener. Have a good day to everyone.
Gurmeet ma'am, you are great. You are really great.
So,
Okay, thank you everyone. Hope to meet you in the future also. Thank you. Thank you for attending
Yes.
2 sessions of mine. It was a pleasure meeting all of you in the online mode. Yes.
email ID,
Thank you,
please.
ma'am. My email ID.
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Okay. It is jenchanchal2005@gmail.com. I have written on the chat. Fine. Okay. So see you everyone soon. Good night.
Good night.
Happy learning and all the best for your research journey. Thank you.